Zenless Zone Zero is a hack and slash gacha game made by Hoyoverse, the same guys who made Genshin Impact and Honkai Railstar, two of the most successful gacha games in history. And because they're made by Hoyoverse, you can automatically assume that the majority of this game is centralized around gambling.
Let's go gambling!
And hot bitches. The funny thing is that this game hasn't been out for even a year and has racked up literally hundreds of millions of dollars. And honestly, I can tell why. It's because it's fucking everywhere! YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, in my walls! Even before I played the game, I would get ads for it. What the fuck am I looking at? And every time there was an ad, I would think it was cringe. Mainly because I didn't like gacha games or really understand the appeal of them. I always thought that games like Genshin Impact were for ginormous losers who had negative capabilities in attracting women. Then I realized that that description is exactly and only me. So as a result, I downloaded Zenless Zone Zero. Welcome to New Era Do, a dystopian cyberpunk city where a variety of species coexist, like Thyrans, humans, and robots, and they all live together in peace. Well, mostly. Unfortunately, in certain areas, there are places called the Hollows, where mysterious interdimensional anomalies occur, and are filled with monsters, known as the Ethereals, which are those that are infected by ether, a highly corruptive material, but can also be used as energy. It's just fucking Chernobyl, but with monsters. The main characters are Belle and Wise. These two run a video rental store, but that alone would be too fucking boring. So obviously they also work as proxies, who are specialists of the Hollows, who guide the combatants and explorers, which are the people who are actually doing all the hard work, but get no credit. You and your agents mainly go through two different types of missions: combat commissions and exploration commissions. Simply put, the one that goes, "Holy shit, this is so good!" and the one that makes you go, "Oh my fucking god." During combat commissions, you go through a stage within the Hollows, where a part of the map gets enclosed and stays enclosed until you defeat all the enemies. Then you progress forward, fighting enemies until you kill the boss at the end. Despite the linearity, it's fun as hell. The exploration commissions, however, are the complete fucking opposite. You go through the Hollows in this overhead view Pac-Man-esque game where you basically proceed forward until you reach the end, with the occasional enemy and puzzles that you need to solve. Most of it's fucking puzzles. Oh yeah, did I mention there's fucking dialogue too? Because obviously, through my Pac-Man puzzle game session, what I needed was a fucking podcast. Your machines went into the Hollows and now we have to bring them back? Oh my god. I fucking hate this plot. I didn't download Zenless Zone Zero to play Temu Bomberman combined with Alzheimer prevention puzzle games. I played it so I could beat the shit out of people and gamble for women. And men! As you progress through the story, you get to work with and become friends with a variety of people from different organizations, such as the Cunning Hares, a faction of freelancers who will quite literally do anything for money, and despite that, can barely afford rent. Bellowbog Heavy Industries, a construction company with more bears than people and more machines than bears. Victoria Housekeeping, a maid service which is run by a 6'6", one-eyed dog man who has prosthetic legs, which are functionally industrial-grade blast freezers! Who thinks of this shit? Oh yeah, they also do child labor, so that's pretty cool. There are a lot of characters in this game, and Hoyoverse keeps coming up with new ones, all with their own backstories, fighting styles, personalities, and their other personalities. God damn it. As you progress through the story, you slowly realize that all the people that you've met have small connections with each other, leading up to the climax of the story, which was pretty fucking cool. Unfortunately though, the process of getting to that point is kind of shit. Even if the story, contextually, is interesting, that doesn't matter, since a large majority of the story is presented through these cutscenes? I don't even know what to call them. Whatever the fuck they are, watching through them is so boring. This has as much visual excitement as a fucking podcast. Because that's what it is! Look man, I don't know if it's because of my Gen Z TikTok brain and its incapability of paying attention to something that doesn't have 19 trillion things occurring at the same time, but trying to watch almost anything in this game is so fucking dull. On the other hand, the pre-rendered cutscenes are fucking spectacular. They are quite literally the greatest usage of 3D animation I've ever seen. Like, have you ever seen an animated video game cutscene look this good? Like, holy fuck! To be honest with you, these pre-rendered scenes are honestly the only reason why I went through any of the agent stories, which are basically just missions outside of the main story that are used to give some of the agents more character depth. Each of these stories are separated into 3 different missions, with all the cutscenes being boring as fuck, except one of them, which are the pre-rendered cutscenes. The story is fine. The way they present it is not. Look, I know that this is technically a mobile game and has a short deadline for each piece of new content and story, but still, it's boring as hell, and I just wish that it would be more visually interesting. After listening to the last 2 sections, most people would think that this game's entirely about sexy hot women and shit storytelling, and you would be completely wrong. There's also hot men. But honestly, even if the character designs of the agents are precisely calculated to be the most sexually appealing organisms on the fucking planet, and the presentation of the plot is peak monotony, the greatest aspect of this game is the combat. The base mechanics are quite simple. A basic attack, a special attack, and an ultimate. You're also capable of parrying and dodging. Theoretically, you could beat the entire game by just attacking and dodging until the enemy fucking dies, but that would unfortunately take a really long time. And this is where the depth of the combat system goes. Every agent has their own role and element. The roles are attack, anomaly, stun, support, and defense. Attackers are your heavy damage dealers, anomalies are your heavy damage dealers but through status effects, stunners are for dealing daze to enemies, which when filled up causes them to temporarily take more damage and become immobile. Supports give buffs and debuffs, and defense are fucking useless. Except Caesar. She's S tier. Literally. In 2 ways. Well, theoretically 3 ways. The 5 elements are fire, ice, physical, electric, and ether. Every character has their own gimmick and moveset. Some are ranged, some are melee, some are both, and genuinely take time and effort in order to use them to their greatest ability. And like any RPG, in order to maximize the performance of your characters, you're gonna have to grind. And the grinding system in this game is the most tedious, unenjoyable piece of fuckery I've ever seen in a video game. Here's why. In order to level up your agents, you need to level up 5 different things. Their agent level, their core skill level, their skill level, their W engine level, and drive disc level. Unlike most games where the grinding process is just perpetually killing enemies over and over again, your agents can't gain experience through fighting. Instead, you level them up by investing resources in them. They also get exponentially more expensive, requiring more resources as you level them up. These resources can be obtained through missions, side quests, but mostly through the HIA combat simulations, which are basically just the fight you go through, and after you beat them, you get rewards based on the enemy you fought. Conveniently, you can choose whatever resource you want, and the drops are guaranteed. Problem is, in order to do any of these battles, you need to use up batteries from 20 up to 100 depending on the amount of resources you want. And these batteries fill up as time passes in and out of game. And guess how much time it takes for 1 battery to fill up? 6 minutes. Doesn't sound that bad. Wrong! Remember when I said that they get exponentially more expensive? They get really fucking expensive. Using up a whole ass day worth of batteries only progresses you 1/12 of the way to max level. A fucking 12th! Meaning that you have to wait 12 whole ass days just to get 1 agent to max level. And guess what, motherfucker? You have 4 other things to level up. And, depending on what you level up, they need multiple different resources, which need to be grinded separately. Additionally, you need to acquire all the optimal W engines and drive discs, which increase the various stats of your agent, which are obviously only able to be acquired through gambling! Pop quiz, bitch ass! How many types of resources do you need to grind for in order to level up everything for your agent? Fucking 10! You need to grind for 10 different types of resources, which takes fucking ages to get, which is the majority of the time you spend not playing the game. And in total, if you want to fully level up one agent in this game, you need a whole month worth of grinding. A whole ass month! And guess what, dickhead? You'll be spending 99% of that month not playing the game. And you know what's fucking funny? You basically have to do this for at least 10 different characters, because if you don't, you cannot get through any of the endgame content, which is all you can do the second you finish the story. Why did they do this? It makes no sense! There is a lot of shit things in this game that I could forgive, like the exploration missions being ass, the dialogue being boring, and the gambling system being a fucking scam. But I draw the fucking line in the goddamn sand when I have to do this! And guess what? All they have to do is remove this dumb ass battery mechanic and make the HIA missions free. And make the drop rates be like 5 times less. Or fuck it, 10 times less. I don't care. But at least make the grinding process be centralized around the idea of playing the game! But once you get through all that, Zenless Zone Zero has some of the most fun gameplay I've experienced. Even if on the surface, this game is filled with over-the-top character design that's meant to bait new players into playing the game, this game really goes beyond that. The story, the animations, the characters, the marketing, and the pure love and passion the developers have for this game is astounding. I fucking love Zenless Zone Zero, man. Even if some parts of it are objectively ridiculous, it quite literally inspired me to make this whole ass stupid video in the first place. And if you're on the fence or skeptical in playing this game, just fucking play it. I can't believe that I went from not giving a shit about gacha games to spending literal weeks and months playing a silly mobile game about gambling for furries and hot bitches. And overall, I fucking love it.